Welcome back to the Shared Security Podcast. And today we're stepping into the future of web browsing and the new frontier of risk. The tech world just got shook by the release of OpenAI's new browser, GPT Atlas. This is a browser that doesn't just render web pages, it remembers what you did and even acts on your behalf. So what if your browser could compile research, book tickets, and summarize everything all inside your web browser? Is this exciting? Terrifying? And what about the enterprise? What does this all mean for your organization's attack surface? Well, in this episode, we'll discuss what Atlas is, how AI browsers are changing the game, and perhaps most importantly, what does this mean for cybersecurity and privacy professionals?
What could possibly go wrong?
And what could possibly go wrong? So we're going to ask the question, are you really in control of your web browser if you use one of these things? And how should we be thinking about enterprise risk when the browser itself is an AI? And joining me for this conversation is my non-AI generated co-host, Mr. Scott Wright.
Yeah, I saw those, what was it,
Sora generated
samples that you did a couple of weeks ago. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. How it perceived, you, me, and Kevin as, like I'm a bald guy, and, I think what you were like, weren't you like a black dude? I was like totally wild. So AI cannot be trusted, as we have continuously said. And I think this is a great topic because this is the hottest thing right now. And Atlas is the first of many AI-enabled web browsers to come to market, right? Like this is just the first. This is going to be
I mean, when you think about it, it was inevitable, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Because Chromium, right, which is what probably 80% of or 90% of the browsers out there, that are somewhat independent or have their own brand, probably built on Chromium, right? And this one is also built on Chromium. So, it makes sense. It's pretty easy to build a new browser, put a skin on it, and put an AI front end on it. And where you go.
Yeah. And, some of the things that make this different than a regular web browser is, for one, it has this browser memories feature. So, a lot like, when you think of your browser history, right, you've got to go click a couple things and then you get the sidebar that brings up your history. And then you got to scroll and look for the website that you closed that tab like 2 days ago or whatever. Yeah. Well, Now with this AI-powered browser, it can kind of do all of that automatically. So you could type in the search bar,
you remember a couple of weeks ago I was looking for stuff in Portugal or whatever,
Yeah. So it'll automatically it'll record and make better use, I think, of your browser history. Now, of course, that is a more concerning privacy issue because now you are essentially giving the LLM all of your browser data and your browser history. So, one of the things we'll talk about is, just like when you're using ChatGPT or any of these AI tools, you got to be very careful of the information that you give it. And I think with now that it's integrated into this web browser, I think people are going to tend to forget that,
absolutely,
you're just browsing the web like you normally do, and you probably you'll have no idea how much information is being collected and then processed now into ChatGPT. It's a kind of a whole new level of information gathering.
Yeah, just I think at a high level, generally, I can imagine a few possible outcomes, right? So maybe this thing gets launched and maybe there's some horror stories that happen right out of the gate, right? And people start to be a little bit wary of it. Maybe they generally stay away from it, but I mean, it's going to be useful for some niche of people and they're not going to care about their privacy, right? But the worst case might be they find some sort of killer app for it or a reason or use case for it that it works really well and it makes the news and all kinds of good, things sort of come out of it initially. And then it gets adopted more broadly. And all of a sudden, really our privacy has been eroded, and it's becoming the norm.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing that was kind of part of this announcement too is that for paid users of ChatGPT, like a premium or whatever they call it, you can actually use this feature called the browser as an agent, where this essentially AI agent can act on your behalf. So you could tell this agent, go to Amazon and reorder me all of these products that I maybe manually order once a month or what have you. And it will do all of this on your behalf. So now think of the possibilities with that
What
of
could go
like,
wrong? Yeah, I mean, geez.
right now that browser is basically becoming autonomous and it's doing tasks that
Yeah.
you want it to do, which of course, right? We all want to automate things
Yeah.
and do that kind of stuff. But
You might want to get a separate credit card account that has a limit on it, that you give your agent.
that's a great point, Scott, because like this is where I really worry about this is like just take online banking as an example. So you log into your online bank, you obviously have very sensitive information about your money, your finances, all those things. And ChatGPT is literally just taking all that information and you're feeding the LLM with this information. Now, of course, they say like, we're not capturing social security numbers, sensitive information, but we'll link in the show notes. There's already been some researchers that have basically gotten around that, where they've demonstrated that that's not necessarily the case. That these LLMs, while they're saying that they have these privacy and security controls, well, they're not really. That's not really what we're seeing in the real world, right?
There's so many things that could go wrong, right? I mean, I'm just thinking about the first days that Alexa came out, right? And they're, kids ordering, doll houses and stuff that parents didn't know about. And what's your agent going to be doing, right? It's just going to become a fiasco.
Yeah. I think the other vulnerability that is being discussed with these AI-enabled browsers is something called indirect prompt injection. So I think we're all familiar, we've talked about this on the show, what general prompt injection is. So you're tricking the LLM into giving information it's not supposed to, either about its own security controls or about the operating system that it's running on or information it's received from other users of that LLM. It's one of those, I'd say, unsolved vulnerabilities in the security world. There isn't a great solution yet to protect against that type of issue. But with these web browsers, now there's something called indirect prompt injection. So there's a researcher, and we'll link this in the show notes, of some research he did within Google Docs, where he basically tricked the Atlas browser to basically do some actions that were essentially hidden in this Google Doc. So all that had to happen was you pulled up this Google Doc and it basically told the AI agent to do these things. And that is what we call indirect prompt injection. So you can just imagine, it's almost like we're getting back into the days of steganography, right? Where hidden
or even the really, really weak, Adobe formatting and malicious formatting, right? You could get Adobe to do all kinds of things with a PDF file, right?
Yeah. So I mean, these are very serious and very dangerous vulnerabilities because you could just be browsing like you normally do, and in the background, all of these things might be happening with your AI agent and giving away information. I mean, could you imagine an indirect prompt injection tricking the LLM into giving all of your browser history to an attacker? Or, I mean, it's almost endless to think of the possible attacks.
So based on what you just said, I'm just thinking of a scenario that, could happen easily in phishing attacks, right? You could just get a Word document, has no macros or anything scary in it, but you download it, you open it, and you're saying it would basically run this indirect prompt injection sort of behind the scenes. You wouldn't even know it was doing it, right?
You would probably have no idea, right? Unless, of course, ChatGPT or whatever browser would have like warnings or some type of blocking mechanism. I mean, like this is all brand new, uncharted territory. So no one really knows, but there are researchers that are already demonstrating some of these attacks. And, we're kind of at the infancy of all these things. And my advice for people, and especially enterprises, like I would not be letting employees download this browser and start using this. And for regular users, if you want to try this out and use it, you got to be really, really careful, because every site, everything you visit is going to be sucked into the LLM. And you are essentially, no matter what they tell you about, well, we're not collecting sensitive information. There's ways around those things, and there's always going to be ways around that. And so, to say that you will fully trust this LLM. I don't think anybody can say that right now.
I have a question for you. I don't know that we've talked about it on the show before in detail, but the whole idea of agentic AI or AI agents. Did we talk about that at all in terms of what it really is and what it looks like right now?
I mean, we've talked just bits and pieces about it, but we haven't done an episode about it. And maybe that's something that we do, in the future.
Because my biggest question right now is, every time I start up Claude or something, it'll say, download our new agent, right? That you could try for free or whatever. And I haven't done that. I'm too scared to. And how do you know whether it's something that you want to do, or is it you leave it only professionals should try this at home, right?
Yeah, I mean, an AI agent is very broad, right, in definition, because it's what does that do, right? What are the actions that agent will do? But a lot of people are also saying, well, it's just like how these help desks now, when you call a number for customer support, right? That is essentially now a lot of these companies are using AI agents to interface with, where you are now talking to an AI. They are taking a set of actions or giving you some type of response. I would argue that these AI agents are no better than talking to the old prompt level phone systems, right? Where press 1 for this, press 2 for this. And you're pressing 0 all the time because you just want to talk to a human, right?
I know.
You find tricks around that. And so I think it's very broad. I would love to have a conversation. Maybe we bring someone that's very involved in the AI agent space to talk more about that on the show, because it's a very interesting topic.
It would be nice just to be able to give our listeners a few broad guidelines. If you're going to work with agents or install one, what do you watch out for? This
whole industry right now around AI, I'm going to be completely honest. Like, it is very, very difficult to stay up to date on everything that is happening. I have never seen, in my 20 plus years in technology and cybersecurity, I have never seen something move so quickly and change so much in terms of the attack surface, in terms of vulnerabilities, in terms of the use cases. And it's becoming so ingrained into so many things that we're doing. And, now we're seeing the news of Amazon laying 30,000 people off, and a lot of those are engineers and developers. And we're already starting to see the impact, right, of AI with jobs and things.
And we're already seeing rehiring of the people that were fired because of it.
In some cases, yes. In some cases, yes. And I think that will continue. I think we've had the discussion, like, are we in a bubble? Are we in an AI bubble, which is reminiscent of the .com bubble, right? A lot of people argue that we're not. A lot of people argue that we are, and it's it's kind of unknown, right? We're not really sure.
Yeah, it's going to be fun times.
Yeah. Fun is subjective, but sure, yeah. but that's I think our advice is just be cautious using these AI browsers.
Well, learn as much as you can is obviously the best.
Yes,
thing, right?
100%.
Sure you know what you're doing before you just blindly download and install something and give it a credit card number and start asking it to go do things.
Yeah, it's a little scary. But we will keep everybody updated, right, on the latest trends that we see and the latest things that come out. So, yeah, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, because we will be talking about this more.
Come back for more. I'm sure there'll be more.
That's right. So did not have Kevin for this episode. He is busy I think he's at the ISC Squared Security Congress, which I went to once a couple years ago, but he will be back, I think, next week. So, all right. Well, thank you everyone for listening. And until next time, stay safe, stay secure, and stay private. Thank you for watching or listening to this episode. Be sure to subscribe wherever you like to get your podcasts. Visit sharedsecurity.net for merch, previous episodes, and more. If you'd like to help support the podcast, join our Patreon to get ad-free episodes and many more exclusive supporter-only benefits. Visit sharedsecurity.net/supporter for more details.